Joining me this morning on the 1045theteam.com podcast is Shen high school basketball coach Tony Dzikas. Coach, you guys completed a 19-0 regular season. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Brady. Thanks for having me.
Coach, you guys, again, earned a top seed in the sectional pairings, which just came out this morning. The 19-0 regular season, though, a perfect regular season. Take me behind the scenes. What goes into having a perfect season? What had to go your way? What did you guys commit yourself to in the offseason, in season? How did this come about?
Well, we knew we were going to be talented this year. We had a lot of guys back from a team that was 15-1 in the league last year, and those guys just worked very hard in the offseason. That's where it starts, is your offseason commitment to getting better, getting stronger, becoming a better athlete. And then during the season, any coach would tell you, it's about, a lot of it is just staying healthy, making sure that, guys are taking care of themselves, making sure that, you're doing what you can to keep as many guys healthy as possible. As you know, Brandon Fisher missed the first 3 games with an ankle injury. So, there's a lot of hard work, and then there's a lot of some luck that goes with it. So, it's been a tremendous year. 19-0 in the regular season is something we're very proud of. Our league is a competitive league. You see that all over the board. Guilderland's ranked in the state. Bethlehem is really strong. You saw that in their win over Troy, who's a very good team. So we're very proud of it, and we're very proud of the league for the accomplishments that they've had this year.
You guys lost to Green Tech last year, who goes on to win the state title. You lost to them in sectional play. How much did that loss fuel you guys going into the offseason? Did that have any role in your motivation for this season?
Well, I think for the guys, I would think so. We knew they were going to be good again this year. At this juncture, it looks like you have to go through them. You got to take the title away from them. Again, anything can happen in tournament play where you have a one-and-done situation. You see it in the NCAAs, you see it in all the the MAC tournament, you see it in any tournament format with a one-and-done situation format. Anything can happen. We saw last year with Miss Unit and Catholic High. That's just the nature of the beast. So it's all about playing well at the right time.
You have I would say at least 2 of the top 10 players in the area, in Kevin and Tom Huerter, 2 brothers, Tom the senior, Kevin the junior. How unique is it to have 2 brothers on the same team that are both so gifted?
It's very unique, and we're very fortunate. They're great kids. On top of being great basketball players, they're great kids with come from a great family, and they have great parents, very supportive of Shen basketball. So they've been a tremendous gift to the program, and for me, they're nothing but upside. They're just a great kids to be around. They're working camp this week for me with the little guys, personalities that are A+, and they happen to be very, very, very good basketball players as well.
Because I'm a closet coaching nerd, I always like to ask coaches this question. You've got a problem that most coaches like to have, in that you have so many good players. A lot of coaches are looking for one big guy. You've got 5 big guys over 6'3" that you can put in your rotation. How do you balance playing time with such a talented team?
Well, when it comes to the big guys, I try to keep at least 2 of them out of shape. So that way they don't want no more minutes than they possibly I can afford to give them. But seriously, it is a good problem to have. Sometimes we do sit there and look at, how can we get 3 bigs on the court at once? Defensively, it's been, we've had time where we've had Alverson, Fisher, and Cromer, 3 really big guys on the floor at the same time. And I found a way to kind of do it within our zone. Offensively, I don't think I've done as good a job as trying to figure out how to get those 3 guys all on the floor at the same time. It can be tricky. But these kids are so unselfish, Brady, that they just they care more about the team. So, if Eric Cromer plays for a minute and a half and the team wins, Eric Cromer's happy. If Eric Cromer plays for 20 minutes and the team loses, Eric Cromer's unhappy. That's where I think I think it's a unique situation for me as a coach that, understandably, a lot of kids, they want their time, and, they have goals. They want to play college ball, or they want to, there are certain things they want to accomplish, so they're thinking about themselves, and that's kind of the nature of being a teenager. We have a lot of guys, particularly in that big man rotation, that just care so much more about the team than they do themselves, that it makes my job, a lot easier.
You guys played Guilderland back in January. You mentioned they're still ranked in the state. I was at that game. That was one of the best, I think the best environment I've been around in a high school basketball game. I just wanted your thoughts on that here a month later.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. We could copy and paste that and have that be every game, that kind of environment. It would be fantastic. That's one of those games where it's hyped up. You've got college coaches asking if they're going to be able to get into the game. And you literally, as a coach, you sit there and say, I want to be a player again. All of us coaches find that time where we sit there and say, you know what, my playing days are done with. I'm about, watching other young kids play ball, and I'm not playing anymore. And then all of a sudden you get a game like that where you're like, I would trade with you in a second. Okay, I would pay you good money to let me go out there. And you know what, Kevin Huerter, you coach this game. But if that would happen, we would have lost by about 20.
They were actually turning people away at the door at that game.
Yes. Yeah, I think about 100 people on the show got turned away from what I hear. It was great.
Guilderland, a team that would certainly like another crack at you here in sectionals. They have arguably the area's top scorer in Andrew Platek. I want to ask you about the defensive performance that you guys put on him. Drew Lewis chased him around all game, one of the best defensive performances I've seen in quite a long time. How do you get a guy like Drew Lewis to buy into that, not scoring much and just chasing around the other team's best player and then excelling at it? How do you get a guy to buy into that role?
You know what? He's just an unselfish kid, and he knows his role on the team. Drew Lewis is an excellent soccer player for Shenendehowa. He's the sectional champion in soccer this year. You know what? I think Drew Lewis knows a little bit about playing on a team, what it takes to win, and he buys in. And Drew knows that there are probably 4 or 5 guys who'd rather have to take a shot than him. But if, we have one defensive stop, if we need one defensive stop, he knows he's one of the first guys called, and he needs to be on the floor because he's a very good defender. And he did a great job that night. He was zoned in. And, I like Drew. I like his feistiness on the court. I think he's a pretty scrappy kid. He doesn't back down. I've known Drew since he was probably 6 years old going to camps. Back then he used to cry a lot. I always kid around with him about that, but he's one of our toughest guys now. You had told me that 10 years ago, I probably would have laughed at you, but he is one of our toughest guys, and he's a great kid, and we love having him on the team.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on 2 things not related to you guys. You guys completed the 19-0 season, so one perfect season. Scotia hasn't lost in nearly 2 full calendar years in Class A. How impressive is it what Coach Jimmer and his staff do over there?
Oh, it's terrific. Coach Jimmer is one of my closest friends. We do a lot of stuff in the off season together, and that is what happens when you've got a great coach with a great player in Joe Cremo. It's a perfect recipe for success. Coach Jimmer works very hard with the boys, and the boys are really willing to let him push them to get better each and every day. And I'm really proud of him. I'm pretty close with those kids. Joe Cremo goes to camps all summer long. He's been going to the Quebec overnight camp for several years, and he's just the ultimate competitor. Joe Cremo is, in my opinion, the best high school player. When you talk about who are the best high school basketball players in the area, you start with Joe Cremo, and then the conversation starts. Joe Cremo's on the top of that list.
We talked about it a little bit off air. I know you haven't seen him play a lot. I've seen him play just once. Joel Wincowski of Lake George is on the verge of, and barring a miracle here, is going to break Jimmer Fredette's all-time Section 2 scoring record. Jimmer is someone that you saw play a lot back in the day. How good is Winkowski, and how good must you be to take down a record like that? 2,400 points is a lot of buckets, Coach.
I don't care what classification you play in. I don't care what league. To come in every night and put up the performances that player has put up, you are a great high school basketball player. To break Jimmer's record like that is something you should be very proud of. Like you, obviously a different classification, different league. So I don't get to see him really at all. But you know what it takes to put up those kind of numbers, and he would be successful in the double A's, the A's, whatever classification you put them in, that'd be a successful basketball player.
Tony Dzikas, Shen boys basketball coach, joining us this morning, 1045theteam.com. Coach, you just completed the 19-0 regular season. Now it's on to sectionals. Best of luck, and we'll be talking again soon.
Thanks for having me, Brady. Good talking to you, bud.